So y'all, it's Shuffle, and we're here with the 5th update for Steadfast Stewards. We almost didn't get it on Thursday. It came out about an hour ago, about 6 p.m. at night. So it's getting a little scary because the goal was to have these done by like mid-July or something, end of July, if I remember correctly. And it started out kind of strong. You know, we got like most of Occultist, and then we got the rest of Occultist, and like some PD, and then we got the rest of PD. And now for 4 and 5, 3, 4, and 5, like we got Wanderer Runaway, and then we got Survivor Runaway, now we got Arsonist Runaway, so it's slowing down. For an update of this importance, having it get crunched like it is right now is worrisome. Especially with the speed that things are coming out with. So I'm really hoping that this just gets extended. And just when it's done, it's done. Okay, like don't put it on the timeline, because we're not going to make the timeline. Red Hook rarely makes timelines, and that's no slight against them. They just don't hit the mark most of the time in terms of scheduling, because things come up and things take longer. Look at Kingdoms, it's supposed to be like November or something, end of the year, and then bam, January 27th. Hearthlight and Cauterize FX animations on this path as the skill, they share them, as the skill no longer targets enemies. Yeah, because Hearthlight looked weird because she was like throwing the firebomb or whatever, and jumping back. Arsonist no longer has chance of burning self on start. Path no longer reduces damage on skills or increases crit on skills. Path no longer has native burn resist piercing. Path gains 1 burn dealt and 2 speed to a max of 3 stacks. That's a lot of speed. If the Arsonist has burn at the end of the round, these buffs are lost if the Arsonist has no burn at the end of the round. So as long as she's on fire, she will be doing a ton of damage with a ton of speed. Much of the previous Arsonist consistency of burn application has been folded up into Wanderer's adjusted Hearthlight and stealth synergies. True. So the Arsonist has been retooled as a high-risk, mid-ranks damage roll that leans into self-immolation. It's Occultist. It's just simply Occultist. Backdraft is a pass skill. Launch ranks are now 2-3. Targets all enemies that have burn. That's exciting. They do not interact with damage modifiers such as tokens or trinkets. If that's the case, then I think they should just scrap the idea entirely for the token and stuff interaction. It was cool, and I don't mind it. I'm glad that it's back in some capacity, but having that on Wanderer and assumedly like Survivor, and then you go to Arsonist and it doesn't work that way, then just make them all the same. Just make them all work without that stuff. Make the burn damage like 200% or something, just so you can get more out of it. But yeah. Or whatever this is, without the AoE. Backdraft deals 50% remaining burn on the Runaway as damage to all targets. 75% of the remaining burn on all targets on the Master version. Control burn is no longer a pass skill. Backdraft is one of the primary outputs for the Arsonist self-burn, gaining damage based on our own immolated state. That's one way to do it. Control burn, true to its name, does not engage with self-burn mechanics of Arsonist. We felt it was important to retain a method of safely applying burn. That's fair. Dragonfly no longer have the res piercing. Dragonfly, both versions now apply 2 burn to the Runaway per target hit. Cannot be resisted and is affected by dot modifying buffs and effects. My goodness. Dragonfly crit reduced from 15 to 5. The damage on the Master version increased from 1 to 3. The crit on the Master version goes down to 5. I'm pretty sure these are... Actually, no, I was going to say they're the same as Wanderer. Maybe the damage numbers, but not the self-burn, obviously. Firefly no longer has burn res piercing. Now applied... Firefly and Firefly Plus now apply 2 burn to the Runaway. This can't be resisted. Firefly damage increased from 1 to 3 to 2 to 4. On hit, crit down from 15 to 5. Firefly burn reduced to 2. Firefly damage increased from 3 to 4 on the Master version. Crit increased from 20 to 10. What? Is it 10 to 20 or is it reduced from 20 to 10? Burn reduced from 5 to 4. I guess we'll have to look. Dragonfly and Firefly have been adjusted to support Arsonist self-burn mechanics. Firestarter is now a pass skill. Firestarter, both versions target all enemies with burn. Both of them copy all the burn from all targets to Runaway. Firestarter Plus grants 1 stealth and 1 speed, so make sure you don't accidentally kill yourself using this. Because if you're taking on a ton of burn, don't get the speed token, outrun your team, and then burn to death. Hearthlight, now a pass skill. Hearthlight, both versions target a single enemy. Both versions require Runaway as burn. Both versions have a cooldown of 2. Hearthlight and Hearthlight Plus transfer the Runaway's remaining burn to the target. Ooh. Hearthlight consumes any Arsonist buffs to heal 10%. Oh, that's cool. That's an interesting idea. So she just sits there and, you know, sets herself on fire for a bunch of turns, and then you hit your backdraft, hit your Hearthlight, transfer the burn, and then she heals herself. Cool. Ransack no longer a pass skill. Hearthlight's been reworked as an emergency exit of sorts. Wonder version of Ransack provides a degree of self-defense that's otherwise missing from this path and no longer needed to suffer the previously reduced damage. Fair. Searing Strike no longer has the various res piercing. Searing Strike launch ranks now changed from 1-2 to 2-3, so those are the mid ranks. Both versions of Searing Strike now match the Wanderer version's burn value and combo effect. They do not benefit from stealth. They now apply 2 burn to the Runaway, cannot be resisted. Searing Strike damage increased from 3 to 4, or from 3 to 4 to 3 to 7. This is the Wanderer version, I think, in terms of the like on-hit damage. Searing Strike's been adjusted to not only serve the Arsonist mechanics, but allow further use from further back in the ranks. Because this is something people wanted for a while. It's like, can I just, I don't know, park her in rank 3 or Dragonfly into rank 3, and then I can use Searing Strike and I can use Firefly, and now you can. Runaway Trinkets, Carved Toy reworked to 15%, plus 15% when self has stealth. We're gonna have to look at that. Knitted Blanket reworked to, like, I'm not even gonna read the rest of it because I can't even parse the front of it. I guess I'll read it. Reworked to plus 15% when self has stealth. Plus 25% debuff res piercing when target has burn. Gain when moved by enemy, daze, or taunt. Oh my god, the taunt's dangerous. The taunt's very dangerous. The daze is also her dazing herself's actually not that bad. Because she has a chance to save herself. Although it does ruin her speed token. Let's see. Knitted Blanket reworked to gain on burn resist stealth plus 1 burn dealt when target has negative token, and when stress damage burn 1 15% of the time. You gotta remember, this isn't just strictly for Arsonist. You know, because the self burn, good for Arsonist. But as far as the other stuff goes, you know, you gotta think of Wanderer and Survivor. And to that degree, I was thinking of the Daze or Taunt for Arsonist specifically, which is dangerous for her, but not for the rest that much. Calabash reworked to, when moving, dodge 50% of the time, or dodge plus 15. It was reworked to this, okay. So, dodge 50% chance, or dodge plus 15% chance. Apply to attacker when missed, shuffle. Gain when hit, knock back 1. Not too bad. I mean, she's more rank dependent than she was. But, this isn't terrible, though. Which is fine. The downsides don't have to be crippling, you know. Interesting upsides, moderate downsides. Disable the 1.5 combat audio when increasing the game's speed, and just the... Okay, yeah, because I was hearing that this was an issue, that the audio got funky when you increase the combat speed. So it looks like they just don't let that happen anymore. So it's going to be like, I don't know, can you stack up sound effects so it's just like the whole time? Who knows? And now it's been moved to the dam. I don't know why it needs to go to the dam, just put in the combat options. I mean, I have to end my run and start a new run to put on combat speed. I want to start testing the game speed feature with synced audio. Many players reported the sound a little too goofy, and thus we want to try it out for a week where the audio remains at 1. This means that some of the animations will be out of sync with audio. Please let it play and let us know. Yeah. Oh, if you, the audio itself is a damn option. Wow. Weak tokens applied to hero on entering Death's Door reduced from 2 to 1. I think 2 was fine, even with the changes. There are a handful of changes to compensate for the new weak token functionality. There'll be changes in future builds. Just don't nerf it or revert it, please. Session max loathing effect chance for random negative token reduced from 100% to 50. No longer can be Shattered Will. I mean, it could be Shattered Will. That was like the... There's only, like, 2 acceptable places for a Shattered Will to pop up on people. The first is like a meltdown, and the second is like the loathing. Because I can't believe I'm advocating for Shattered Will. Maybe I shouldn't. So we'll just leave it as is right now. Like barricades and weapon rack no longer gain positive tokens. Yeah, because they would get stealth, and that looked very funny. Escalation max buff will no longer affect enemy corpses or ancient adversary. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright. The rest are a bunch of trinkets, so let's see. Yeah. I'll see if I can get the trinkets up, and I know a lot of people wanted to see the the side-by-side changes, so we'll do it this time. Because I didn't do it last time. Oh! We're right here. I can look at the recollection. Alright, so there are trinkets, and I'll have to pull it up in a different tab here, but the Death's Heads got changed. So, on entering Death's Door, gain 2 stealth, heal 2 stress. Killing Blow, heal 2 stress. Leaving Death's Door, extra action, 20%. That's pretty hot. You know, this was like the only super good one before, because it, you know, cured all dots or whatever. But, I mean, we'll take a better one too. Did they reduce them from like 5 to 3? I guess I should have kept looking, but... Let's see. Heal all dot, heal 2 stress. I guess they're all going to do that, right? Yeah. Oh, no, just those 2. Interesting. On leaving Death's Door, 2 positive tokens. On killing Blow, 2 stealth, which I'm assuming you don't need to be on Death's Door for. There's a line break, so it has to be a separate effect. So they're trying to make them more useful outside of Death's Door situations. On entering Death's Door, this is the 3rd one. Remove all dot, heal 2 stress. On leaving Death's Door, 10% damage 1 battle, crit by 3% for 1 battle, speed by 1 for 1 battle, gain on killing blow, regen 3. Flagellant will be thriving with this. Because that's the only character that is comfortable enough dropping down to Death's Door and then popping off it. In fact, he does it a lot. You know, you hit more when you're like, you know, 20, 30 HP, you get knocked down to Death's Door, but usually you're safe because you planned ahead of it and stuff like that, and then you just bounce back up next turn, or you hit sepsis. Alright. Let's see. Let me double check here. I know the runaway trinkets are in, so I guess we'll look at those. Let me find her. Runaway Bonnie. Right here. Alright, so makes sense now. 15% crit when you have stealth. Okay. Debuff res piercing when the target's burning. Gain when moved by enemy, daze, or taunt. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll have to see how strong the crit when stealth is because of, you know, is it just Survivor? I don't know. But, like, she has some stealth synergy now where it's like when she pops out of stealth, stuff happens. So it's like, you know, she can already have 50 or 100% crit with 2 stealth tokens. So it's like, is this going to matter? At that point, I guess we have 1, that's 65. But the debuff res piercing, when the target's burning, this can be good for not just items, but also smokescreen. And that'll be really nice. Because this could be a really good Survivor trinket right now, just looking at it. I mean, it's just solid overall. But anyway. Knitted blanket, gain on burn resist, enter stealth. You know, burn chance isn't going to be as common now that there's no self-burn Arsonist that you can resist, like you used to be on live. +1 burn dealt when the target has a negative token. That's pretty cool. I wonder what happens when you hit them and they have vuln, because if you do an on-hit, it's going to eat the vuln. Does the burn stick with the +1? Need to test that. Gain 1 stress damage, you burn yourself. And then Pile of Ash, I believe it had something similar to this before, like the original iteration was moving and getting dodge. Plate attacker when missed, shuffle, pretty cool. I was going to say, oh my god, the sacrificial, but you know what? The sacrificial can only do 1 attack and it's gone when it doesn't. What if it pops and then shuffles back? Does it break the game? Alright, so there are the Death's Heads and Runaways Trinkets. I think Shambler Trinkets got changed. That's Shambler's Eye. What was it, the actual Shambler Trinkets? Alright, there's a couple of those we have to check. It is a sporadic amount of different trinkets. Selfish Motivation no longer weakens you, which I think it's okay if it does. I mean, you get bonus damage per token, and yes, the new weak token will hit this a bit harder. And even, actually, would it? I don't know, because was it always 50%? Okay, so let's say it was 50% per negative token. You did 10 damage. And, you know, you have like a vuln or something like that. You do 50% more, you do 15. If you had a weaken, you would do 15. But since it was additive, instead of 15, 50-50 cancel out and it would just be 10. So you just did normal damage. Now, with weaken, if it's just 1 weak token, you know, you get the plus 50% damage. So you would hit for 15 down to 7.5, game rounds it to 8. So you do lose a bit of damage. But like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it was warranted, but we'll see. Right? The new weak token does matter. That's the thing, but you're also using a I guess it's a trinket that you're turning negatives into positives. So maybe it was too harsh. I don't know. I'm not against it. It just feels weird that they retooled it specifically for that. So, let's see. Yeah, so no weak token. It's just the other 4. And then I don't have the mustache cream unlocked, so I can't look at that. Mofo only appeared in my game once. Junia's Head says removing 1 negative token and removing combo. Changed from targeting hero to target ally, which is good because, yeah, you could target an enemy. And I didn't remember if it did that interaction, but that's good. Fixed it. Busker's Hall, that is just store. Where's that cup? Not that cup, the other cup, this cup. Alright, so what changed here? Add dodge when targeting hero has been changed to target ally. And the chance has been increased. I guess that just makes it... Oh, so it doesn't hit him anymore, right? If he hit himself with a song, is that what I'm reading? It's unfortunate, it made it a bit worse. Undeserved commendation, add crit when targeting heroes change from... or to ally, and increased from 10 to 15. So the commendation was this thing. Okay, so the crit chance went up, but he can't give it to himself now. Annotated textbook was, yeah. Okay, what changed here? When targeting hero has been changed to target ally instead, and chance to invert 1 negative token has been reduced from 100 to 65. Reduced chance for vuln token from 100 to 33. Okay, I like those. That's fine. That's pretty fair. Let's see. Entropic battle modifier, chance to end random token reduced from 100 to 50%. The Jinx is more rare and can no longer be gotten from inns. That was usually the primary source. You would go to an inn, it would just pop up. Like, oh, cool. Disarmor quirk, now less rare and can be obtained from inns. So if you didn't know, Disarmor is like one of the rarest quirks in the game. And I think you got it from like the academic study where you fight the doll. Like, the one that had like the swords in it. You don't have to fight it, but you know what I mean. And yeah, no one ever saw it. So it's now more common. So they just kind of swapped it with Jinx from the sound of it. Shatter Will quirk has been removed from quirk options when choosing to fight the Shambler. Thank goodness. It only took several years, but we'll take it. Let's see. Memories. The, Oh, dev note. We're considering removing all quirk options when choosing to fight the Shambler. No, I mean, if you get Cosmic Slayer, that's cool. No one had a problem with that. It was just like, you would... It was actually kind of hype, you know? You'd be like, I'm going to fight the Shambler. Boom, I got this quirk that's going to help me kill it. But no one liked getting Shattered Will from that. That was just a kick in the face. Memories. A lesson learned. Crit increased from 3 to 5. Along recovery memory. Disease resist increased from 15 to 25. That's still not good. Cat food combat item. Price reduced from 6 to 4. That is good. Invigorating intoxicant item. No longer provides speed and crit on Death Star. We can actually look at some of these. That's a deliverable. Intoxicant is right here. Okay. Yeah, so no longer speed and crit on Death Star. Now has remove all weak on use. Deathblow resist buff increased from 3 to 5 turns. Nice. When entering Death Star, remove all weak. Yeah, it's a nice buff. This is already pretty good in Kingdoms because it removed fatigue. And although it was really difficult to thread the needle on when this is going to be good in like Confessions, the times you hit it, it was nice to have. Like I would bet money this will save me a few times because I usually bring them if I see them or if I have them. Let's see. Add a dam option for battle advantages to always appear when appropriate. Okay, cool. Current confession icons displayed at the crossroads. Thank you. Thank you, because, yeah, that hurts. Death Head trinkets reworked effects that are now randomized. What? Reworked effects that are now randomized, including on-kill effects. They're random? I mean, that's kind of cool. So, like, I've gotten 3 different ones. That makes sense. I was like, why do they both have the same first line? Oh my god, you could get... Does that mean you could, like... There has to be some combination of this where on entering Death's Door, you get 2 stealth. When leaving Death's Door, you get 2 stealth. And then when you kill something, you get 2 stealth. We have 2 of the 3 right here. Like a jackpot. Mortal Ward now has on leaving Death's Door crit dodge plus token minus 2 stress. Where's Mortal Ward? Mortal Ward. Where is the Mortal Ward? Right here? Yeah. Wasn't it always this? Oh, they gave it the second line. Okay. Alright. Then there's a bunch of random fixes, like the weak token fix, they said. Okay. Because before it said next attack deals minus 50% damage. Which, sure. You know, after you know how it works and stuff like that, you know, you may be able to figure out it's additive. But really, you see minus 50% damage, you assume it deals half damage, okay? Let's not get it twisted. Alright, we're going to jump up to the crossroads. And we'll take one more look at Runaway. Oh, thank you, game. Perfect. You can see right there. Alright. Take a look at Bonchan. She is on Survivor as we speak. And so I think you have to do it like that. And then we look at her, and then everything's like... Yeah, Wanderer. Okay. The Orphan's still the same. Arsonist... Alright, so just doing the comparison, you don't get the... Why is the text smaller? Are they gonna do that for Wanderer too? Like, the Arsonist text is so small. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, burn, res piercing when stealth. All the other stuff. And then Arsonist has no res piercing, but also does a little bit less burn. Does Firefly. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's kind of scary. She's gonna melt pretty fast with some of these. I'm assuming they're gonna fix this tooltip and smooth it out because it looks You know what it is? It's like they're trying to match each other and occupy the same amount of space. I think, but I don't know. I'm not a tooltip programmer, okay? So. Alright. Yeah, just it's all the self-burn they talked about. Hearthlight, transferring the Arsonist burn, and the buffs that she gets for stacking it, because you get the plus speed or whatever. Which does not say it here. I have to like open the thing, right? Oh, it's right down there. Round end, if Arsonist has burn, gain +1 burn dealt, 2 speed stacks up to 3 times. They're lost if the Arsonist has no burn when a round ends. So yeah, since she scales with burning herself too, like this can get out of hand pretty quick, especially with backdraft. Yeah, and so it's just all self-burn, and she does a little less burn to the enemies, but not with this. Right, because you look at Firefly, she does like 1 less burn to the enemy, but Dragonfly is still a powerhouse. Yeah, okay. You know what's weird? They took the teeth out of crit dots, you know, so they don't last for 2 extra or 50% extra rounds. So we can probably put Dragonfly back to like 10 crit, I would imagine. But who knows? Alright, otherwise still the same combo stuff. I like that. Firestarter. Copy burn to self. It's not like steel burn, it's copy burn. So she has to, depending on how stacked up the enemy team is, if she gets stealth, oh my gosh. In speed. This one definitely is going to have to take some testing, because just looking at it, if there's a bunch of burn floating around on the enemy, and then she soaks it all to herself, and backdraft interacts with negative tokens like weak, is she, you know, you could mess up your very cool backdraft if she ends up taking a bunch of burn and death stores off it next turn, and then gets her speed, and then, you know, does like a half damage backdraft. But and you can counter it too. You know, if you're gonna, the thing is, if you're gonna set something up this hard, where you're gonna stack a ton of burn on her and then have her throw it back at the entire enemy party, you're probably gonna give her like a strength or a crit token. It says damage variable. Let me double check. Self double remaining burn. Oh. Oh, there's no cooldown. No, there's a cooldown 1 turn, but ooh. Okay. You know what's funny? I think the encore turn is like the one that works the best. It's an extra action, not a extra turn, so it doesn't trigger the burn again. Let's see, what was I looking for? There's someone with backdraft, right? I knew it. Okay. I was like, they had to have caught that, right? So yeah. On that, I said that like the top of the video too. On this path, you ignore weaken from death storing, because otherwise you're only gonna do a little bit of burn damage to everything. So now you do full burn damage. Okay, so they did catch that. Alright. That's it for the notes. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Orphan is presumably next. The house is on fire. I never noticed. Oh, that's so sad. That is so sad. The house. Alright. No inside knowledge, but if I had to guess, I would say Hellion's next, just because they seem to be going... It just feels like they're going to save Leper for last. And that's kind of why I'm hoping they don't rush everything out the door and crunch it, because Leper's the one that needs this the most. And it'd be nice if he got the proper time. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later.